What is up guys, Munash here, and today we have some Alliance War, and I figured I'm long overdue for an Alliance War video, but I don't know which war this was. It was one of the wars we had a few weeks ago. In fact, I think it was the last war we had before we started having problems, and then they decided to cancel a couple of wars a few weeks ago. All I know is it was the one war I did during my last Abyss path, so I'm going with Quake as always, She-Hulk, and Dr. Voodoo. And also I wanted to upload this video because this was a little bit more interesting because they used a defense tactic that I've never actually played against before, which is Protect. And basically what that does is whenever you deal more than 300% of your base attack in a single hit to a large or extra large defender, they get a protection which reduces your damage by 30%, and it can stack up to 4, which means if you do that 4 times then you'll be doing literally no damage. And the only way to remove these stacks is by intercepting, so one intercept will remove 2 stacks. The other cool thing about it on the attacker side is that you gain an unstoppable passive whenever you knock down your defender, which you'll see when I use She-Hulk because she is a large champ. Okay, so as usual, I'm going to be doing part 6, and first up we have Symbiote Supreme with Power Focus 1 and Power Alternator. So for this one I'm going to use She-Hulk because she's a pretty good counter for Symbiote Supreme with her Petrify and her Exhaustion. So you see, after I knocked him down with the special one, I gained a passive Unstoppable. And the other fun thing about Symbiote Supreme is with the slow power gain, I can kind of just spam heavy attacks in the corner. And with the taunt that's built into her Furies, it makes it a lot easier to bait his special attacks. And also because the special 1 Exhaustion debuffs lower his power gain rate by 25% each. So yeah, that's also a pretty quick and easy fight for She-Hulk. And now we're gonna move on to Annihilus, and he has steady Buildup Fury, Heavy Hitter, and Power Alternator. So this one I'm going to use Quake just because I mainly just don't want to worry about Power Alternator. Even though I could use Dr. Voodoo or She-Hulk for this fight, I just want to stick with Quake because then at least I won't have to worry about Power Alternator, which can be a little bit annoying when you're trying to get to your special attacks, especially that special 2. But obviously Quake won't have to worry about any of that since she won't be gaining any power, neither will Annihilus. And obviously not making contact helps a lot with power control. So yeah, it's basically just a standard Quake versus Annihilus fight. You know, just got a heavy dex, keep up the rhythm. And probably won't be doing any heavy only in this war, just because I don't need to. So yeah, these are pretty simple fights. Don't need to boost or anything like that. And yeah, that's section 1 taken care of. And now we get to section 2, and this was probably the most interesting fight of the war because Hyperion is a large champ, which means he can trigger that protection. And I'm going to be using She-Hulk for this one, and She-Hulk is pretty well known for her massive damage potential. So yeah, this one was actually quite interesting because I wanted to use She-Hulk because at least she can counter Footloose with the slow debuff, so I won't have to worry much about him being unstoppable or evading my attacks. So for this one I just wanted to go with an invulnerability boost just in case I need to take a special 3 because you never know with Hyperion. And also if I mess up on an intercept, you know, that indestructible can help me quite a bit. So what I like to do against Hyperion is punish his special 2 with a heavy attack. That taunt mechanic will help get him to throw his special attacks a little bit more frequently. I'm already triggering that protection. So yeah, I'm not gonna be doing much damage in this fight. I mean, we managed to take up 30% fairly quickly in the fight, but man, the fight just got so much slower as I ramped up. So yeah, I actually kind of underestimated this node, because I didn't actually expect it to be this tedious to deal with. Because the problem with Hyperion is, because he's constantly gaining power, you're not gonna have as many openings to intercept. Especially because I first need to bait a special and make sure he's got low power. Otherwise, intercepting can be risky. And yeah, I'm building up my Furies quite steadily, and this is the one fight where I actually don't mind if the Furies fall off, because Shiok is actually just hitting a little bit too hard right now. And now I'm like looking at this and I'm pretty much doing no damage in this fight, wasting a lot of time. Just trying to find those openings to intercept. It almost feels counterproductive, because it's like I build up my Furies, which I need to taunt, but it's like the more Furies I have, the less damage I do. So it's kind of counterintuitive, and yeah, it's a little bit tricky as well. And there I go in, and unfortunately he decided to parry me, which is quite annoying. I wasn't expecting that. Fortunately I had that indestructible, which prevented me from taking damage. And now I'm hoping he throws it before he gets to the special 3. Fortunately he does. Just gotta keep punching that special 2 with a heavy attack so he doesn't go unstoppable. And also so he doesn't evade. Like now I'm thinking, okay, there's 2 minutes left and he's got 23% health left. So this should be pretty decent as long as I can just remove some of those indestructibles and carry on playing. Now I was like, okay, he's only at 10% and I still have 1 minute and 45 seconds left. So this shouldn't be too difficult. The only problem is now, literally every hit I'm doing is triggering that protection because I have 13 Furies. And there I did try to intercept, but he just managed to get a special 1 onto me. And that Incinerate is ticking. So that was a little bit annoying. Lost quite a bit of health there. And he's just throwing specials so frequently because I have so many Furies and I just can't do any damage now. This lost 11% is extremely annoying. And now looking back, what I realized what I should have done is actually bolt up to my special 3 and then remove at least 1 protection. If I remove at least 1 protection, then my special 3 will still do decent damage and that hit will count before I trigger protection again. I just wasn't thinking about it at the time. So yeah, now I'm actually just struggling to get down this last 10%, and this is like right after doing this fight I was pretty annoyed by it. But actually looking back, it's quite funny just struggling to do any damage, you know, despite having all these Furies. So there I do intercept and then throw my special 3. And even though he still has 3 protections, it still did a fair amount of damage, but unfortunately it was just too late and I time out with him only having 4%. Like after I did this fight I was like, oh my goodness, what a dumb fight. Like who designed these defense tactics? But I think if I just tweaked my playstyle and used more special 3s, I could have done the fight without timing out. But I just didn't think about it at the time, and yeah, that was my first time doing this node, and now I see why people are using it, because I looked at it, I was like, it's probably going to be an easy war, or at least the tactic won't be too bad. But yeah, a fight like that, if you really don't plan around it, can kind of mess you up. But yeah, you live and you learn. We have another Annihilus, and this one has Rage and Enhanced Fury. So this is just a rank 4 Annihilus, and usually I would use Quake for this one, but I decided I actually just want to try Dr. Voodoo. Just because I didn't have much to lose in this war. No, because I think it was a bit of a mismatch for us, so the war wasn't too difficult. So I decided to use Dr. Voodoo for this one, because he is a pretty good rage counter, as long as they aren't poison immune. So now I'm trying to bait his special 1, and he's just not throwing it, which is pretty annoying. Finally he does, but then he gets that unstoppable just after I try to go for the intercept. And now he has me cornered. And I guess you can sort of tell that it's been a while since I fought Annihilus with a champ who doesn't have slow or who isn't Quake. So yeah, I just kind of forgot like how to fight Annihilus with a standard Mystic champ. And the other thing that I forgot, which kind of messed me up, is I was not running Mystic Dispersion for this fight, or for this war, because I was doing Abyss at the time, and I had max Limber at the time, which means I had to remove points from Mystic Dispersion. So yeah, that also kind of just impacted these fights with Dr. Voodoo, because I barely used Doom in Abyss Part 4. I think I only used him for 2 fights, and one of them was Bishop, which is an easy solo. And then I think I just reactivated Dispersion for Hyperion, which is one of the last fights on the path. Then eventually I sort of recovered, and yeah, I take a nice little hit there before the poison kills him. That fight was so sloppy, to be honest, but yeah, anyway, now we have this Hood with Aggression Prowess and Power Focus 2. And once again, I typically would use Quake for this fight, but I decided that I'm actually going to use Dr. Voodoo, kind of because I wanted to get him to regenerate. Just to get a bit more health, because at least I know I won't take much damage from this fight, because I can just bait special 1, or I can just power control him, then I won't have to worry about baiting specials too much. But yeah, I figured Dr. Voodoo, at least he has that regen at the start of the fight, so I might as well use him and gain some health back. Then eventually I can throw my special 2, get that power burn going. And that's going to be it for this video, and it was a very short war. I thought I did more fights in this war, but I just couldn't find them. So either I just didn't record them, or I have amnesia and forgot that I didn't do any more fights. But it's weird for me not to take any minis. But I do have a couple more war videos coming up that are a little bit more recent. And I do have a bit of a backlog of videos now, so yeah, I'm a bit behind. But hopefully I'll get those out soon enough, because I had a few good wars later on this season that I want to showcase. Okay, get some nice poison damage going, 10 stacks of poison, and now I can just slow play it and wait for the poison to take him down. But yeah, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you guys enjoyed. Thank you for watching. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.